Hey guys, welcome back. So I hope you're having a great day. Today's Monday. Today's the start of the week. We had Bitcoin yesterday turn a green candle for the week. We'll look into that. We also have a couple stories about how 5 countries could possibly turn Bitcoin into currency in the next year. And then we got Ted Cruz talking about how Bitcoin could be used, or Bitcoin could be powered through their flaring in Texas. And we also have a Cardano story really quick to cover. So we'll try to make this quick for you guys today, and then we'll get into sticks. So let's get into the news here. So obviously here's Bitcoin. Bitcoin is now at 56,427. It is touching our resistance that we've drawn here a while back at around 57,000. It touched it and it has since fallen down a little bit, so we'll see if we can break above it. But right now things are looking good for Bitcoin. So let's get into the first story here. So 5 countries will accept Bitcoin as legal tender by end of next year, says Bitmex CEO. So by the end of next year, at least 5 countries will have accepted Bitcoin as legal tender, the CEO of cryptocurrency exchange Bitmex has predicted. He cited 3 key reasons, so we want to get into those key 3 reasons why he thinks that, why he arrived at this conclusion. Developing countries will jump into crypto in 2022, he said. So more countries will adopt Bitcoin as legal tender. The CEO of cryptocurrency exchange Bitmex, Alex Hopner, has predicted the developing countries will lead the way in Bitcoin adoption, he detailed last week. So here's his prediction. My prediction is that by the end of next year, we'll have at least 5 countries that accept Bitcoin as legal tender. All of them will be developing countries. Here's why I think developing countries will jump into crypto in 2022. The CEO offered 3 main factors driving the adoption of Bitcoin in developing countries as why he came up with the prediction. The first is remittances. Remittances made up 23% of El Salvador's GDP in 2020. Hopner described citing data from the World Bank. He added that low and middle income countries receive about 75% of the total global remittances, and 540 billion in remittances reached low and middle income countries in 2020. This money has got to find a way home somehow, he said, but the current system of remittances, led by the money service providers like Western Union, is ripping people off by charging them an average of 10% just to send money home the next business day. Yeah, I mean, that's just ridiculous. I mean, especially, we're living in the technological age, internet age. It shouldn't cost 10%, so you send $100 and $10 they get to keep. It shouldn't be like that. It should be, 50 cents, $1 at most. The second factor is inflation. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, forecasts inflation for developed countries in 2021 at 2.4% and 5.4% for developing countries. He explained that people seek alternatives to fiat currencies during inflation crisis. For example, he said, as inflation climbed well above 15% this year in Turkey, crypto adoption surged. Turkey responded by quickly banning the use of crypto for goods and services, but inflation is now at 19-25%. So you can see how their thinking kind of backfired on them a little bit there. Hopner noted, Bitcoin fixes this with its cap supply of 21 million, and developed countries and or other people are noticing. We are seeing a lot of countries noticing it as well. We got, Brazil looking into legalizing cryptocurrencies for regular payments. The third factor is politics. He explained that many politicians or rulers are skilled and savvy and have an interest in positioning themselves as progressive, populist, and the new age thinkers. He opined over the next year, and as El Salvador works out the kinks in its rollout, savvy politicians will be thinking of how they can take a similar path and how it might benefit both them and their constituents, elaborating. What El Salvador did is take the first leap of faith, making similar moves by other countries much easier to consider. I agree with that. Other countries are noticing it, and depending on how the rollout goes for El Salvador, the other countries will obviously follow suit if things go well. However, the CEO cautioned any failings by these leaders in the implementation phase may hurt wider adoption of cryptocurrencies in general. That's the dangerous dilemma that lies ahead. And I agree with that, right? So as long as El Salvador has a good rollout, we can see other countries possibly jumping ship as well. So, all right. So good story there. I think that's bullish, obviously. Let's take a look at next story is Texas. So Texas should use Bitcoin mining to capture wasted natural gas. Senator Ted Cruz. So Senator Cruz predicts that Bitcoin mining will be used to capture wasted renewables in Texas power grid within 5 years. So obviously you're seeing a lot of minds changing here as far as how Bitcoin can be used within the economy and within our current systems and how it can best be utilized, right? So this is all good news. This is good and bullish in my opinion. So United States Senator Ted Cruz believes that his country should be using natural gas to mine Bitcoin instead of flaring it. So if you don't know what flaring is when oil companies are digging for oil. They also capture natural gas, and the natural gas is usually released into the environment, and the way that they release it is by burning it off, basically. They have a huge, basically like a fire going on, releasing the natural gas and burning it up so it doesn't go just into the atmosphere. So speaking during Friday's Texas Blockchain Summit, Senator Cruz asserted that Bitcoin mining can be used to monetize energy created through oil and gas extraction rather than burning it, arguing that there is enormous opportunity for Bitcoin to capture the gas instead of wasting it. And I would have to agree with that. I mean, if you're just burning it for just to burn it, why not put it to some good use, get some generators hooked up to it that are run on natural gas, and utilize that electricity that you're creating there, and you can buy Bitcoin, right? So according to a transcription of the talk shared to social media by Coinmetrics founder Nick Carter, Cruz noted that half of the natural gas flared in the country is currently being burned in West Texas. It's being wasted because there is no transmission equipment to get the natural gas where it could be used the way natural gas would ordinarily be employed, he added. Here's a quote from him: "Use that power to mine Bitcoin. Part of the beauty of that is the instant you're doing it, you're helping the environment enormously because rather than flaring the natural gas, you're putting it to productive use." Correct, I agree with that. That'd be a great way of using it. Cruz emphasized the capacity for Bitcoin mining to be mobilized reflexively in response to fluctuating energy supply, stating that energy could be immediately returned to the grid in the event of a sudden power outage or shortage. In 5 years, I expect to see dramatically different terrain, with Bitcoin mining playing a significant role in strengthening and hardening the resilience of the grid, he added. Cruz noted that Bitcoin can be used to capture unutilized energy across the globe, arguing there are a lot of places on Earth where the sun shines a lot and the wind blows a lot, but there aren't any power lines, and it's not economically feasible to use that energy. The beauty of Bitcoin mining is that you can connect to the internet, you can use that energy and derive value from those renewables in a way that would be impossible otherwise. Completely agree. So Cruz is not alone in believing that Bitcoin mining could offer an efficient means to capture renewable energy, with El Salvador recently announcing plans for a stack-backed Bitcoin mining project powered by renewables. Bitcoin mining has become a key industry for the state of Texas following China's May crackdown on industrial Bitcoin mining firms. Many miners turned to Texas for its cheap and abundant renewables, while others looked to Kazakhstan, Norway, and Canada to access inexpensive green electricity. So obviously, in my opinion, this is great news. If you can make that happen where we're using that flared off gas for good in the Bitcoin network, I think that's a good thing. So I'm all for it. And finally, our last story is can Cardano and its tree plan revive its price and performance? So as we've seen, Cardano has been kind of stagnant lately. It's been kind of, I think, in an accumulation phase right now before the next leg up. So we'll get into Cardano chart here in a little bit. But first, so Cardano recently joined the bandwagon of smart contracts-enabled blockchains. The price since then has been seen many ups and downs, but at the moment is pretty much not moving at all. So in order to kick off the price move, Cardano has taken up a new incentive, but will it work for sure? So why is Cardano not moving? Cardano had a great month from the end of July throughout August. It even created a new all-time high of 296 on September 3rd, but since then its performance has been pretty lackluster. At the time of this report, it was down by a solid 23% from an all-time high, despite multiple major single-day rises. One such rise was on September 22nd when ADA rose by 13.75%, and the instance had a strong effect on investors. On the day following the rise, over 300K investors joined the network. However, the volumes were not that great, displaying only a 3 billion rise. So you can see the addresses here going up over time. The rest of the month did not witness any significant positive movement either. However, as bad as the month of September was, October has at least not been too harsh on the altcoin as of yet. In a way, right now, Cardano price action is in consolidation, which is kind of been saying for a while here, and we're kind of in the consolidation phase. Despite multiple attempts to break the 234 resistance occurring for almost a month now, it remained unbreached. Although multiple wicks were made through it, ADA closed back down under it. So we can see here's the all-time high, and then we've obviously had the resistance here. So what has Cardano done to change that? Since the end of Cardano Summit, the foundation has taken up an initiative to promote a healthy environment as well as to help increase Cardano's DeFi adoption and participation using the environment as the tool. The discussion of the need for eco-friendly token has been going on for a long time and picked up more heat when Tesla discontinued the option of paying Bitcoin, citing environmental concerns. This was back in right around May. The initiative calls for the donation of 15 to 1 million ADA, which will result in a plant being planted. In doing so, the donor will also receive a digital certificate NFT, an NFT tree art of different rarity depending on the amount donated or other perks. Okay, so this is kind of cool. This is kind of, in my opinion, it's kind of cool that they're going to have people donate, and then you're going to get NFTs for, you know, different little trees like that, does little badges and things like that. So depending on how much you donate, you can have a, you know, a nicer NFT art tree. So it's kind of cool way of using NFTs here. Since the strategy does not play on uncharted territories, it can't be said for sure it will be absolutely successful. What could help the price action, if at all, is yet to be determined. So, well, I mean, that's one way you could do it, but obviously, I think it's a great idea. So, let me know what you guys think. We'll get into the charts here a little bit, but obviously, do you think there's going to be more than 5 countries next year accepting Bitcoin? And then Texas, obviously, Ted Cruz and others have been saying that, you know, Bitcoin flaring should be used for mining Bitcoin. I think the adoption phase is just getting started here. I think we're gonna, you know, see 1x, 2x expansion in the network and everything else going forward. You're seeing a lot more talk between countries and institutions, everybody else jumping in on Bitcoin and crypto as well. So I think it's all good news. All right, so let's get into the charts here, and then we'll call it a day, guys. Where's my mouse? There it is. Okay, so obviously Bitcoin. But help if I go here. So obviously Bitcoin touched the resistance here of 57,000. It's come back down a little bit, but we're still obviously having a trend up. It looks like here. You can see it's kind of trying to do one of these parabolic rises going forward here, kind of like we had here. Did it? And it looks like we're getting ready to do the same thing again this week, possibly. Let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum is at $3,565. It came down to touch the 20-day moving average. It touched it and wicked back up, and we are stuck in this kind of consolidation area here almost. We're almost, I think, our resistance is going to be like 3,600 roughly right now. This is what we're looking at. Everything else looks good. Volume is kind of low for the past couple of days, so we had a wick down yesterday, and then we're obviously up today. Everything's pretty much in the green today. Let's take a look at Cardano. Cardano is at $2.20. It is below our resistance here that we drew right there, which was at $2.24. It has obviously broken out of this triangle here, but it's getting close to going below it again. So I think it's just an accumulation phase. We'll have to see once it gets past this, if it skyrockets up higher. Hedera hash graph is playing with the 50-day moving average. It bounced below to touch it here, and then it's obviously bouncing off of it today as well. So we'll have to see what that does. Last time it did that, it obviously bounced from it, so we'll keep an eye on it. Volume is obviously low as well. Litecoin is at 179 right now. It is also in this kind of pattern here where it's, you know, stuck at almost 180 is the resistance here for it, and it can't get above it right now. It's in also an accumulation phase right now. RSI is looking good. Volume is obviously low. So those are all good signs that once volume increases, we could be heading up higher. Doge is at 23 cents. It is right now trading off of the 200-day moving average. It came down yesterday, it touched it, went below a little bit, and then went back up. And today it's obviously bouncing off of it as well. And it went up to the 50-day moving average, looks like, and it came back down from that. So it's trading in this kind of range here, looks like, between the 200-day and the 50-day range. So we'll have to keep an eye on it, see if we can bounce above it. Obviously, we have a green day today, so which is good. And then Solana is below the 20-day moving average at 148. Right now, we're seeing a kind of trend downward, so we'll have to keep an eye on that one, see if it continues on, if it goes down further to touch the 50-day moving average, and then if it breaks below that, if it goes down to the 200-day moving average, which is at $75, to then finally carry us forward. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one. Stellar is at 35 cents. It is also stuck in this kind of consolidation phase right now. It is trading above the, what is that, the 200-day moving average, which is good. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one. And then what else do we have here? the mining stocks. So I did a huge video on the mining stocks, HIVE, Bitfarms, HOT, Mara, RIOT last night, posted it for comparison as far as what my projections are for them. You can check that out in the videos. And then let's take a look at here. HIVE is at 292. It's actually down a penny in pre-market to 291. Bitfarms is up 12 cents to 525 in pre-market. HUD is up 10 cents to 1053. Mara is up 81 to 40.30. Like I said before, I think Mara is just way too overvalued right now. RIOT is up 45 cents pre-market to 226.28. I think RIOT is the one that is the closestly well priced right now, the best priced as far as stock to earnings possibility goes. So what else do we have here? SHIB. SHIB is up 10% on the day, and we are seeing that it is kind of stuck in this rut here where it's at 0.000028 or so, and it can't get above it right now. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. So that's it, guys. That's all I got. Hope you enjoy the day. If anything comes up during the day, I'll post another video possibly in the afternoon sometime. But and otherwise, let me know what you think as far as the countries accepting Bitcoin. Do you think it's a good thing to use the natural gas flares for Bitcoin mining? I think it's a great thing. And anything else you guys want to share with me? I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks. Bye.